Welcome back to Bros in a Landfill. If our podcast is shitty enough, someone might pay us to stop.
Your hosts for today are Tar the Whale and DSY, the tin can that he accidentally ate and died. You bastards.
Why'd you go and do that to me, man?
Well, it's alright. I decided to not kill you, and then we became friends. And it became the new hit TV show, Whale and Can Friends. They go on
now premiering on ABC.
I'd watch it. Speaking of kids shows, Tar, you were saying something about Looney Tunes.
Yes, there was a big Looney Tunes... Not a big Looney Tunes game. What am I talking about? But there was a Looney Tunes video game that I played when I was little, called Looney Tunes Back in Action, and I don't remember hardly any of it.
I remember there was a movie
I can't remember any of the quips for the life of me. I remember some of the events that went down. Oh, you keep trying to talk and I'm interrupting you. How rude of me.
I was gonna say, I remember there was a movie with Brendan Fraser with the same title.
What was the plot of the movie?
The plot of the movie was that Brendan Fraser wants to be an actor, but he's not, and instead he's a security guard, which is still a pretty high position. And then he gets fired from his job because while he's chasing Daffy Duck, who is a character in this universe, he accidentally ruins Warner Brothers Studio, and then they have to make a bunch of terrible movies about their DC heroes and stuff. Anyways, so then Brendan Fraser finds out that his dad, who was a movie actor, was actually a secret agent, but he's in trouble, so Brendan Fraser has to team up with Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, and Hot Lady in order to save him.
And Hot Lady!
Yeah, because you always need that girl. Them girl who wears the short pants.
Well, a girl who wears them short pants. You know, the short pants.
Also, I guess the villain wants to turn people into monkeys because that will somehow benefit him. Is the game anything like that?
Yeah, the game follows some of the same steps, although with fewer characters. You only get Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck. But the main villain does want to turn everyone into monkeys for some reason, but he also accidentally turns himself into a monkey.
Well, I was going to say,
for some reason, Bugs and Daffy are immune, but their quest is to now unmonkey everybody.
Well, the reason in the movie why they were immune was because they were cartoons, and everyone else was live action. That was actually a load of bullshit. I just made that up right now.
Oh. Well, it made sense.
Well, Bugs Bunny is a bunny and Daffy Duck is a duck, so they can't turn from one species into another. Let's just ignore the
humans are humans before they turn into monkeys.
Well, yeah, but they're also lame, so, you know.
They're also lame.
Actually, I was gonna say, we didn't give a spoiler warning for this really old movie that some people might have been really looking forward to. So, spoiler warning, late spoiler warning, and also, Tar, did you know that Shaquille O'Neal appears in the movie? As himself.
Doesn't he always?
As himself.
Doesn't he always?
Yes, he also appeared in that movie Good Burger that I don't know anything about, except for...
Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. I don't know what.
So, what did you want to talk about specifically with the game?
I didn't really want to talk about anything specific with the game, although I do remember the ending was extremely disappointing.
Let me guess. There's no murder.
So the ending comes straight out of nowhere. Well, the quote unquote final boss comes straight out of nowhere. Wait, what?
I was gonna say, does the final boss literally some ancient demon that rips a hole in the universe and then claws out of it and says, "I'm going to take over Earth"?
You're closer than you might think.
Oh, jeez.
So the game takes you through 5 locales. The Warner Brothers Studios. You have to go to Paris. You have to go to Vegas. You have to go to Area 51, I think is the aliens. 51, 52?
Sounds like the movie.
51. And then lastly, you have to go to Africa because, Africa. Monkeys.
Well, that's where
you know.
To be fair, though, those are actually the locations the main characters and Brendan Fraser go to in the live-action movie, so at least they're getting that much, right?
All right. So it seems like the movie's a fairly faithful recreation, or the video game's a fairly faithful recreation. I don't know.
Well, if there's no Brendan Fraser, then I don't care.
Oh, well, no, Brendan Fraser is not in the game.
I need my Brendan Fraser. I need Brendan Fraser.
Why do you need Brendan Fraser?
I don't. I'm just trying to be silly. Anyways, please continue.
So there's this big door that only opens if you have enough monkeys. That's your token to the final boss, because you're collecting monkeys throughout the game.
But aren't the monkeys people? Bugs, what are you getting into?
We're trying to unmonkey everyone, so we need to collect the monkeys. I don't know.
But you're using the monkeys as tools.
Well, they haven't been unmonkeyed yet.
Well, I mean, I guess if you want to split hairs, then technically you could say that, monkeys aren't people. Gonna have another robot episode? I wish monkeys were people too. Oh, hey, look, the MacGuffin. Hey, look, monkeys are people now.
The Monk-Guffin.
Oh, the Monk-Guffin. Sorry.
Anyways.
Please continue.
So, you get enough monkeys to open the door. I think the number is like 35?
Well, that sounds much better than Battle for Bikini Bottom's like 100 and something.
Battle for Bikini Bottom was 75 to unlock the final boss. Each locale only has about 5 monkeys to collect. So you need to get scrapping on those bonus monkeys.
Oh jeez.
They're bonus monkeys, but they're mandatory.
Yeah, real bonus, pal. Thanks.
Well, they're mandatory. Well, they're mandatory if you want to beat the game. But anyways, you get that door open. There's this big Indiana Jones chase segment, and then you get to the final boss. I forget what he even does, but the same. So the monkeyification comes from this crystal that, when placed in this device, I guess fires a laser, and that turns people into monkeys. But for the final boss, like, all of the Looney Tunes are coming together here, despite the fact that you've only been playing as Bugs and Daffy. But the laser hits Tweety Bird, and Tweety Bird turns into this giant monster instead of turning into a monkey. Because Looney Tunes.
So why were all the other Looney Tunes immune then?
Fuck if I know.
Is this laser just have a problem with birds?
What's
the matter?
I don't know, but you turn into the Tweety Dactyl and fight this rock golem because Africa.
I'd take the song Africa over this boss fight. Thank you very much.
Gosh, why?
Don't sing
it's an okay song, but it's overhyped.
Well, if it was on The Simpsons, then you're probably right.
Gosh, I've barely even seen The Simpsons.
Can't wait for Homer Simpson.
I saw the Prohibition episode, and that's it.
Homer Simpson for Smash.
Oh, they might do it. Who knows? But anyways, you were gonna talk about another thing, I think.
Oh, is this topic over already?
Are we? Is this topic over? Because I don't really know what else to talk about.
Well, if
the final boss was really disappointing and can be beaten by literally mashing one button.
Well, if you're gonna go ahead and go on about flipping, if you're gonna say that it's over with the Looney Tunes stuff, you at least have to do the Porky Pig.
That's all, folks. Poor Porky Pig.
That's all for your life.
Son of a, I say, son of a gun.
It's like it's
I bet you thought I was gonna say son of a bitch.
well, you did. So I guess I was right. You want to talk about? Let's
Can we just talk about how that was an actual Looney Tunes bit?
Oh, I didn't know that actually. I don't watch. I was born at the worst possible time, the end of the Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, when they were trying to just do all of the spin-offs and milk everything about that series dry.
Did you ever see that one Looney Tunes where they were superheroes and it was like the future, like Batman Beyond? And they had to fight
no.
Yeah, it was called like
Looney
Tunes Unleashed or something. It was a kids show. Yeah, I'm sure everyone in the audience.
I've heard about this.
Everyone in the audience raise your hands and go, "Oh man, I remember that being a thing that existed in the real world." And it's like,
Anyways, there's the clip.
Oh jeez. Well, I'm not gonna watch it now, but yeah, like Bugs Bunny was the leader of this team of
Makes
animal
sense.
people that were. There was 5 of them. There was Bugs Bunny. There was Wile E. Coyote. There was Daffy Duck. There was Girl Bunny. I don't mean to keep forgetting these people's names. I just
wait. Hang on. What bunny?
The female bunny, who I guess was like the love interest for Bugs Bunny. She was
Lola Bunny.
Yeah, she was a cheerleader or something, I think.
Yeah.
And then there was the Roadrunner, and they all had like special superpowers for a reason that I didn't know. That might have been explained in the show because I never saw the pilot. And if I did see the pilot, it's been so long I forgot about it, but it was a really silly show, and they were all superheroes, and it was the future.
Right. In the game, also, apparently, Foghorn Leghorn is a fucking hoarder, because in each locale, you can pay him a certain amount of money, and he'll give you a monkey.
Okay, first of all, what is it with these games and having cheapskates that won't sell you, like, plot essential stuff? And second of all, those monkeys were people, Foghorn Leghorn. What are you doing? Excuse me?
You remember Foghorn Leghorn, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, I made a joke about, monkey lives and stuff, but I guess Foghorn Leghorn goes ahead and disproves that. Monkey lives do matter. There's a price for everything after all.
I say, boy.
You. I say to
nice
you.
Nice kid, but he's about as sharp as a bowling ball.
Nice kid. Nicer than you, because I don't sell people on the black market. You bastard.
Black market? No, he's just rolling around.
What if he was selling you like just actual monkeys, and then when you try to use the thing on them to turn them back into humans, some of them just don't turn back to normal because they were just monkeys to begin with?
What happens if you hit a monkey with that laser? If it does different things to other species, apparently.
What if it turns the monkey into a human, but it was never a human that was turned into a monkey to begin with? So now you just have more humans.
So now you just have someone named Joe.
Yeah, he's like, what's going on? Like, wait, I was a monkey a few seconds ago. What happened? Wait a second.
Do you think
I've changed to a whole other species.
Do you think that they would be capable? I'd ask if you think they'd be capable of speech, but this is Looney Tunes, so of course they would be.
He's like, wait a second. The other monkeys, they're all running around naked. Oh my gosh! And my tail, I don't have a tail anymore. I can't climb like I used to, but I can use computers. What? Is this better or is this worse? Do I still eat bananas? Yes, I do still eat bananas. Okay. Do I still eat ticks?
I can adapt to this.
Do I still eat ticks? No. Okay. No ticks. But banana.
No ticks.
Banana.
No capes. This is an Incredibles cast now.
Did you see the sequel they made to that movie?
I have not, although I want to.
I have not watched it, and my cynicism will not let me believe that it will be anything aside from meh to bleh.
I bet it'll be pretty good. Because the original movie was like the original Incredibles. Isn't that like the best movie ever made?
Isn't it like
At
10 years
least is the
old?
best movie by Disney.
Isn't it like 10 years old?
So,
I know a cash in when I see one.
well, except they spent so long making Incredibles 2 because of like all of the detail that went into like every single aspect of the
Are you saying
visuals.
they spent the last 10 years making that?
They spent the last 10 years making sure every single cotton fiber of Mr. Incredible's shirt made sense.
Okay, first of all, if that was true, then they're still missing the point. And second of all, I absolutely don't believe that for a second. Anyways, let's get off this topic before I go insane. What was I talking about before we got back to Looney Tunes? How dare you try to stay on topic, Tar? You make me so angry.
Fuck. You were talking about Looney Tunes superheroes.
Actually, on second thought, maybe you could just keep talking about what you're talking about. I think I'll just go away. I don't. Let's get back on topic.
What about that time they
wait.
turned Looney Tunes into a sitcom?
You're gonna have to be a little more specific. You mean the Looney Tunes show?
Yeah.
Yeah, that show was
the one where Bugs and Daffy are roommates.
That show was really weird because a lot of the Looney Tunes, if you think about it, they weren't really friends. So making a kid-friendly show where they're all friends and have to like do stuff with each other, it's kind of unusual. I thought that show was pretty weird. And a lot of the comedy was way too like overtly camp for its own good, I think.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, I
haven't seen too many episodes. Like, the one episode I do remember is the one where they went on a game show to like test their friendship to see what all they knew about each other.
Yeah. Wasn't that a SpongeBob episode?
No.
That was a SpongeBob episode where
SpongeBob
and Patrick took a test.
What's
and Patrick
your partner's catchphrase? And Daffy could not come up with "What's up, Doc?"
See, that's kind of some of my other problems too, where they have characters in kids shows, and I say open quotes kids shows, who are too stupid to be believable. And it's like, I know it's suspension of disbelief, and it's like, no. Suspension of disbelief is me believing that a duck and a rabbit can be humanoid and be roommates. You kind of lose me at the point where the duck is so stupid he does things that are, in no one's mind, a good idea. Or cannot remember something that is said multiple times by his roommate to him on a day-to-day basis. It's like, at that point, I'm like, Daffy, do you have a brain problem? Like, this isn't me insulting you, this is genuine concern. I am worried about you right now.
Yeah, and then the prize was a cruise, and then Daffy felt bad, so he bought the cruise anyway, using Bug's credit card.
I mean, that seems like a kind of silly thing to do in of itself, I guess. That one almost feels like a joke, at least.
Because that was the one thing that Daffy knew about Bugs was the credit card number.
I think that says more about the relationship than anything else.
Oh, they should have asked that on the game show.
What is your roommate's credit card number? And the host is very excited. He has a pad and paper. Write this down. Steal the credit cards and kill them in their sleep. This is how we fund the game show. It's just business.
Oh! Yeah, so I think we're kind of Looney Tunes out.
I was going to talk about the only episode I saw of the Looney Tunes show was the first episode. And it was a little just too overtly kid camp. That's a thing I always hate about kid shows, or really dumb kid shows, where it's everything can just be silly and stupid and wacky and not make any sense at all. And it's that's not really a good kid show. That's just a bunch of nonsense that you're putting on screen.
Well, I mean, it's also a kids show, right?
Yeah, but
Like they
kids aren't.
like kids don't really care about that stuff. Like kids just want to be entertained.
They will care about it. Proof and
Well, I mean,
matter. Any big YouTuber on YouTube, which is there's a lot, will oftentimes frequently cite their childhood and the things that they were into. Freaking people are talking nowadays about how there needs to be better kids shows because there's too many stupid ones, or at least they were talking about that 2 years ago. I don't keep up to date with some of
like,
these guys.
was Looney Tunes also not stupid?
Looney Tunes wasn't made for kids, is the thing. The original one
Well,
wasn't.
it wasn't made exclusive. Well,
You
the
had
original.
you had like themes of sexual stuff and like weird stuff and violence and racism.
Well, keep in mind that was also the 30s.
Yes. Times have changed. That much is absolutely completely certain. I couldn't agree with you more. But it feels like like I think a kid would be more entertained watching a show that had, maybe a simple story, like, don't steal and stuff, rather than a show with absolutely no plot and nothing but mindless gibberish. Like, here's my question: if kids shows and kids stuff can be so nonsensical, why do people remember Dr. Seuss or even a lot of those Disney cartoons that are simple, like "Don't lie" or "Be who you are" or "Don't take poison apples from old ladies"? It's not who
That's
you
a
are
good
on the
question.
outside, but it's who you are on the inside. Like Beauty and the Beast and stuff. There you
That
go.
is a good question.
Answer
But
that
I mean,
question.
like, why can't we have both?
I mean, I guess, but just don't
I
make
know
one
I'm
into the
completely
other.
dodging the question because I don't have a good answer.
Well, I'll say this much about the Looney Tunes show. I guess I can't really be too hard on it since I only watched one episode, but it was an episode that was rooted entirely in, like, kind of nonsense. Like, the main plot was the main character was a selfish jerk who wanted to win a bowling tournament, and he wins the bowling tournament in the end, if I recall correctly. And it's like, he didn't really
I was
learn
gonna say
anything.
this sounds like a Kids Next Door episode.
No, the Kids Next Door episode was hilarious, where it had the story because the hero, number 4, hired a bunch of bad guys to beat his dad in a bowling tournament because his dad always
He
made him polish
suckered
the
them into it.
because
Number 4 suckered them into it.
he didn't he promised them what they wanted and they'd do it, but they lost. And number 4 had to polish the dad's massive trophy that was huge. And you know what? Like, even though
I honestly, like, how did they even fall for that ploy? Because he told them that the soda they were drinking was actually replaced with poison, and the only way that they would get the antidote was to participate and win in the tournament.
Man, you remember way better than I do. I totally forgot that he pretended to poison them. I thought he just bribed them outright.
No, he pretended to poison them.
Man,
And for some reason it worked.
I need to go back and rewatch this because I apparently forgot that little detail. I forget a lot of details, honestly.
The only reason why it didn't work was because number 4 screwed up and drank from the same soda that they were drinking. The one that he claimed was poisonous. He obviously could have claimed that he didn't poison that one. But instead, he just fucked up and said he never poisoned the soda at all.
Oh. Well, I mean, it could have just also said, well, I have the antidote so I can drink poison if I want, technically.
That's also another option.
I totally forgot about that. I thought his team just straight up lost.
Well, his team did lose. Because number 4's dad grabbed him for a 7-10 split accidentally. Knocked over one pin and then accidentally knocked over the other during his victory celebration.
Oh. And that still counts?
That still counted.
Well, and the other thing too I was going to say about that episode at the least too is that number 4 kind of lost in the end. And when you consider what
number 4 is the butt monkey of the group, so.
Well, when you consider the things that he was doing, it seems kind of like he was the bad guy in the story too, in that particular story too. which is a little bit of subtle
Well,
kind of like storytelling to
like,
kids.
this is meant to be like sympathetic for kids. Like, you don't want to polish that giant trophy.
Yeah.
You're going to do anything you can, especially if you have a secret agency that you can pull resources from.
Well, he went to the villains because they were adults and kids can't enter the bowling tournament, so he couldn't hire the K&D. Also, they probably wouldn't do it for him. You know?
Well, they would if they were poisoned.
Would the kids fall for it? Some of them I think are too smart for that, and some of them I think would fall for it.
Well, let's see here. The group that he got together was Mr. Boss, Count Spankulot, Soccer Mom.
Yep.
Oh, geez. Who else was there? There was one more.
There was
Sticky Beard.
Sticky Beard, I believe, right? The candy part? You remember the show way better than I do.
Wait, oh no. The Toilinator didn't. The Toilinator just showed up to attack the bowling alley. He wasn't actually a part of the team.
Well, the guy was pretty useless, so I imagine even number 4 wouldn't ask for his help. Unless both of us rewatched this episode after the podcast and he was in there, and then we both put our hands on our heads and go, wait a second, oh man.
No, the Toilinator just showed up to attack the bowling alley for some reason.
There's a part I remember in the
I think it was because he was left out of the bowling team.
I forgot what Toilinator did. He clogged toilets?
He just did toilet-themed stuff.
I only remember a couple scenes with the guy, and one scene was where, like, Mr. Boss was, I guess so there's a problem.
He does have the power to flush anything he wants.
Yeah, that was the scene where, like, he was talking to Mr. Boss in the bathroom, and there was, like, the stall, and then I guess as after the conversation was done, or, like, it was wrapping up, then Mr. Boss was like, by the way, Toilinator, I need your help for a second. Toilet problem. And then Toilinator, like, there's, like, this dramatic zoom into his face, and he's like, flush! And then the toilet fixes itself, and it's like, thanks.
I don't remember this.
I remember it because it was really silly.
I do remember, though, he flushed the Grand Canyon.
I don't remember that.
Well, no, because, like, the kids next door had blocked it off.
Oh, wait a second. Wasn't there a part with the Grand Canyon? They filled the Grand Canyon with milk and cereal so that they could have the biggest...
Yes, that is exactly what they did.
They could have the biggest...
I think it was like a Kids Next Door anniversary celebration. Did you hear that?
I heard most of it, yeah.
Okay. Because my circle wasn't green there.
My circle wasn't green.
Well, that's how you know. But anyways, yeah, I think it was like a big anniversary celebration for the Kids Next Door. And the villains were going to, like, Mr. Boss and his group were going to raid it. We're going to raid that party. By hiding in the cereal. And then the Toilinator shows up and flushes the Grand Canyon, so it's just like, oh, hi, the villains are also here. With pretty much every Kids Next Door operative in the world standing right there.
Yeah, but they didn't eat breakfast, so they were only at half power. You still might be able to win this, guys.
Nah.
You never know. Never underestimate a hungry kid. Actually, no, I forgot. They're hungry kids, so they're actually more powerful. Run for your lives.
Gosh, Kids Next Door was such a good show.
I'm ashamed that I was very, very, very young, so I only remember, like, some of it. I remember there was an episode that was like Alice in Wonderland, but it was number 3, and she went to, like, a rainbow monkey place, and number 4 was with her, and there was a bunch of talking rainbow monkeys, and it was like, I don't know what the heck was going on, if it was like a theme park.
Alice in Wonderland.
But yeah, but with rainbow monkeys.
Number 4, was this the one where number 4 was, like, constantly insulting them?
And I mean, he never liked rainbow monkeys, to be honest.
And he ended up on a tribal island where a giant rainbow monkey started, quote-unquote, attacking him.
Possibly. I don't necessarily remember. I just remember that I think number 4 had a crush on number 3 or something.
Yeah,
And at the very end of the
that was a
episode,
massive thing.
at the very end of the episode, there's a part where you think he's gonna confess, but actually he was saying like, "There's something I have to tell you." And it's like, you had a popcorn kernel stuck in your teeth this whole time. And she's like, "What?" And she looks in the mirror and it was
Well,
true.
he was going to, but then he backed out of it last moment.
You don't know that. Maybe he was just really concerned for her teeth.
No, because in the finale, when it shows everyone all old and stuff, it's revealed that those two eventually did get married.
I don't remember that.
It was the one that had live action segments. It was weird.
Oh, well, I definitely don't remember that. The finale that I remember, I think, was like the movie. And I remember the movie very well because I saw it like a million times because it just kept playing over and over and over again on Cartoon Network.
The movie was the finale to season 5.
Dang.
But they did one more season after that.
Well, I thought the movie was a pretty good way to finish it, probably because Cartoon Network kept playing it over and over and over again. And
well, except
I got it pretty thoroughly in my head.
Well, season 6 explained a few of the things. Like, there were still a few things left to explain, and season 6 wrapped that up.
I'm wondering. I'm skeptical of season 6 because the longer a show goes on, the less you have, the less fresh it is, and the less ideas you have to pull from, and the more you kind of have to start making stuff that stops making as much sense as it used to. It's like there's an old phrase that says, "Don't say more than you have to," and the longer a show goes on, the more it talks, as it were, and the more it talks, the more you know. And sometimes there are some things that would be better left unsaid. Not necessarily always. That is, the caveat of sometimes. So I'm skeptical.
Okay.
But it could also have been really good, and I just am a prick.
Right. Well, I have one huge gripe with season 6.
Was it the live action segments?
No. That was only for the finale. Season 6, all throughout season 6, there was this huge subplot going on. Like, there was a radical splinter cell within the kids next door that wanted to not only get rid of the evil adults, but all adults.
Well, that does sound like quite a radical. Yeah, that was the thing I was curious about KND. There was like the evil. Sorry.
The splinter cell is teased all throughout, and then one of the toward the end of the series, they realized that the splinter cell, that was fake.
That was fake?
The splinter cell was fake.
So they teased this.
It doesn't exist. The splinter cell doesn't exist. And I was so disappointed.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that's quite the... how the heck was it fabricated? What the heck? What was going on? Now I'm like more confused.
I don't remember all of the details, but you remember, I think his name was either Brad or Chad. But he was one of the old kids next door who got turned into a teenager. He was one of the jocks. He had blonde hair.
Yeah, I remember that guy. He was, he was, I remember him.
He was one of the best.
Yeah, but he was still a KND, I think, wasn't he?
He was, but he got decommissioned.
For real?
Because he got too old.
Oh, because I thought he was like an undercover agent or something this whole time. I swear that was a plot
He is.
Yeah,
he is. He got quote-unquote decommissioned because he was one of the best of the best. Early on, it was revealed, with the episode with Maurice in it, that the really, really good agents are never actually decommissioned.
Yeah, I remember that. But, man, that... But it makes you wonder, though.
It does, and it didn't really make sense that if Chad was one of the best agents that they had, that he would be decommissioned either. So he wasn't. He just acted like he was He just acted like he wasn't a part of the group anymore.
Well, that still seems kind of weird when you consider all the things he did prior to this knowledge being informed. Because he did a lot of solo missions, too.
He did do a lot of solo missions, and after quote unquote decommissioning, he did a lot of things that seemed like they would impede the kids next door, but he was actually helping them out indirectly.
I think maybe they just came up with this idea in season 6, perhaps.
No, because they explained it fairly well.
Well, all right. I'll. You know what? I
seemed like that seemed like a deliberate move, and it ties up that plot hole.
Well, I like K&D, so I'll take your word for it.
I know K&D was great. But yeah, before season 6, also, do you remember Heinrich?
The name sounds familiar.
He was the fat German kid who was kind of number 5's candy hunting rival.
Sounds kind of familiar.
He dresses up. He had a monocle. He dresses up like Indiana Jones, kinda.
Yeah, I don't remember specifics, but I think I remember that guy.
Let me do this. So kids next.
Uh-oh. The adults are coming for you, Tar.
Heinrich.
Yeah, the name sounds familiar and the description sounds familiar, but I think maybe I just didn't see very many episodes with him. I watched Kids Next Door totally out of order, by the way. Like, when I got on, I think it was like season 4 or 3 already.
This guy.
And I saw him like, yeah, I remember this guy. Yeah, he's Pokey from Earthbound.
There was a big subplot with him and number 5. Like, there was a big noodle incident about what happened in Guatemala. That got tied up in season 6.
Well,
did you hear me there?
Yeah, I heard you, but I was saying that I saw a lot of these episodes out of order and didn't see some of them at all, so I just have no idea what you're talking about sometimes.
Well,
I remember this guy. I remember he got those.
I binged Kids Next Door in like a week, so.
Well, maybe I should do the same, because it was a good show.
It was great.
Did you ever play that online game?
Operation Best?
Was it that one with the kind of lousy 3D models and the big open world?
Yeah, I think that was it. Was it. I wanted to, but I never did.
I played that game. It was pretty cool. There was a lot of episodes. You did some episodes from the show, but they were slightly different because you existed in this universe. And there was like sequels to episodes in the show that never happened that happened in the game that didn't happen in the show because you don't exist in the show, you exist in the game. And there was
right.
And there was like a lot of because it was like an open world, there was like a lot of places you could go to and the different kinds of enemies you had to fight and watch out for and avoid and the adults and stuff.
I remember one of them involved number 13.
I don't remember that one. I don't remember very much about this game. I just remember being lost a whole lot because I didn't know how to read at the time. And there was my favorite level was the one where you go to the reverse world and fight the negative number versions of the K&D.
Oh, I remember that episode.
And then it ends.
The number 4 was like number -4 was like a mob boss.
Yeah, he had a goatee also too.
Yeah, he had a goatee.
And
because you know. Why not?
How the heck did he grow one of those?
It's just why not? That's pretty much the reason for everything in Kids Next Door. Is just why not? Maybe I don't know.
I guess they had ketchup and mustard guns in that show. And
they did have mustard guns. That is a thing.
And there was a part where there's a part in one of the TV episodes where they guys had. Yeah, I just remembered something actually. I was about to mention. Well, first of all,
just remember
that in every episode there was like a part where they explain what the equipment does and why it works, and it goes into like a 3D model of the thing they're using, like the ketchup and mustard gun or the CAT scanner or the stuff.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of like JoJo stands.
Well, that just tells you what the weapon is and what it stands for, because everything in Kids Next Door is an acronym, and I love it.
Yeah, I was saying it's like JoJo stands, like in the middle of the show when it goes like, this is the thing and this is what it does. It's like in Kids Next Door, this is the thing and this is what it does and this is what its name means.
The only one I can ever really remember is the scamper. Shabby Camper actually makes perfect emergency rescue mabob.
Lol. I don't remember any of the acronyms. I can't even remember what most like 3-letter acronyms mean.
Oh,
I have a terrible memory for these kinds
you
of
know what?
things.
You know what BRA stands for?
No.
Battle ready armor.
Oh, I thought you were saying bra like the surfer lingo for bro or
Oh
something.
no, like women's underwear.
Yeah, I remember that episode. That was the sleepover, and number 4 infiltrated it because he thought it was a
Because he
secret
strapped
mission.
a rope to his head
Yeah, he's
and
got some.
called it pigtails.
Yeah, somehow number 4, despite being the dumb one, sure seems to convince a lot of people of things, and sure seems to make a
He
lot of
gets away with
disguises.
he gets a lot. He gets away with a lot of stuff that he shouldn't.
Yeah, he certainly is a. Maybe he is a secret genius. Maybe negative number 4 and him aren't actually all that different.
Well, in the final episode, it's revealed that he did get two degrees from Harvard.
Oh, dang. Does that mean that his negative version became stupid?
I think his negative
I'm
version was always stupid.
Well, was he? Because he was smart enough to make a portal between dimensions from a swimming pool.
Wait, that was number -4's doing?
Well, I remember that's just what
I don't
happened.
remember.
I don't remember if it was caused by an anomaly or if he did it himself or what was
Pretty
going
sure
on.
it was just an anomaly, but I remember that just like the regular number -4 couldn't swim.
No, he could swim. Negative number 4 couldn't swim. The thing was negative number 4 was a coward because number 4 was like overtly brave, or he was too stupid to understand fear.
Yeah. Let's see. What else was there?
I was saying there
Push
was
me
like
in another direction.
Well, no, I was saying there's a lot to the universe of Kids Next Door too, which was also something that I think also feeds to my argument of kids shows should not just be stupid and mindless. Like Kids Next Door had a full-on universe going on of like the hallway like hall monitors and the what was it? There was an episode where like there was a stick up in the school bus for homework.
Yes, because of the 6 Gum Gang. I remember them.
And then there's like the different factions of the school, the kindergartners and the first graders and the stuff.
Yes.
And they don't like each other and they're always at war and stuff. And it's like, yeah, like this world is really intrinsic.
Yeah, there was a lot going on in the Kids Next Door universe.
Yeah.
And then, well, I think the reason that the Splinter Cell was created was to cover up the galactic Kids Next Door.
I don't remember. Well, I never saw season 6, so it's not so much I don't remember that as much as
I think the galactic Kids Next Door is just like I think each like adulthood is not intrinsic to Earth. Like it's a virus spreading across the entire universe.
What?
So one representative from each planet comes together. Like the very best of the very best from each planet comes together to join the galactic Kids Next Door. And number 1 in the season finale made the galactic Kids Next Door.
Well, I mean, after the movie, I think it'd be hard pressed to find a better representative for Earth. He was literally the last man standing in the entire planet.
Well, no, because they also did. Because grandfather also didn't get father,
and number
0, or any of the delightful children.
Well, I mean, those guys were already under his control anyway, so he didn't have to worry about them. And father just didn't want to fight.
Right.
And number 0 wasn't really a threat because he was an old man.
An old man with all the Kids Next Door capabilities, though.
Well, he lost all those. That was why he was not perceived as a threat, I think. Or was he perceived as a threat? I don't remember.
Did you not see the hand struggle between number 0 and grandfather?
That was after he got his powers back, and that was after number 0 literally said, like, I'm not moving from this spot. And he's like, well, then I'll go through you. And he's like, no, you're not. And then they have the big
No, you're not, because I got what you want right here.
Yeah, I remember that was like a part where he's like, how can you be so strong? And it's like, because I got that book in my back pocket, that whole MacGuffin that you've been after this whole time. He's like, what?
And then, like, I think, like, wasn't that, like, just to buy time for number
no,
one to do his big thing?
yeah. My point was basically that number one was the last surviving official K&D member who saved. So yeah, I
Right.
think you'd be hard pressed to find a
Well, I
better
mean, number
candidate.
zero was still official. He's just not official. He's just not there anymore. Kinda.
Well, okay, yeah, he was decommissioned, and the other guys, the delightful children people, they were still K&D, but they got turned back into who they used to be because I guess they were like
Well, that
seriously
was
effed with.
Father's doing.
Which when you
Father
think
made them like that.
that's pretty freaking weird too, by the way, when you really consider what the heck. Like, dang.
There was also like an episode where Father was trying to delightfulize everyone else.
Yeah, I imagine. I don't remember how that went.
Anyways,
I think he failed, just judging by the fact that the series ends.
Right. But,
wasn't there an episode where everyone was trying to get like a box of cereal or something?
Yes, and the villains and the heroes put together a temporary truce because Nightbrace fucks it all up.
Yeah, he wanted to destroy it.
Yeah, Nightbrace wanted to destroy it, so the heroes and the villains form a temporary truce to just kick Nightbrace's ass.
Yeah, that one was great. And then they share the cereal, I think, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. And then Nightbrace is all beat up, and he's like, just make sure to brush your teeth afterwards, because he's all delusional, because he got beaten up.
Gosh, the kids next door.
I remember there was an episode, too, that was like...
I keep saying it, but it's such a good show.
It was a very good show that I don't remember very much of because I was too young, ironically. Whoa, Tara, you still there?
I am. I'm just trying to figure out where to go next.
Well, I was just thinking about other episodes that I don't really fully I'm trying to remember, like, my most vivid or most clear vivid or clear. My most clear memories of, like, episodes. And I was like, wasn't there an episode where, like, the adults, like, they broke into the kids next door's treehouse to take it over or something, and I guess the kids next door just
and then the Toilinator comes
in
and
he
beats up
all
the
the villains.
And the Toilinator beats up all the adults, thinking that they're the kids next door.
Yeah, and I mean, to be fair, he caught him off guard, but I was like, huh.
And that was the one time where the Toilinator was actually shown being competent.
Beating up his own teammates by accident?
Beating up his own team? Well, the only time the Toilinator is ever competent is when he's impeding the progress of his teammates.
Or when he's turned into a zombie.
Or when he's turned into a zombie.
Yeah. But yeah, one episode I remember that was really weird was when, like, number one wakes up and he's an adult, but he has this memory.
Oh yeah, that was like a dream sequence, I think.
Wasn't that
and he was the president of the United States?
I don't remember if he was the president of the States, but I remember he was trying to fight the KND, or at least he apparently he was, but he doesn't remember any of it. And there's like that really weird part at the end where like all of his former teammates are now adults and they're like super anti-KND. And I guess
that was just the entire episode.
I think
number one was president of the United States. Number two was his vice president. I think number three was Speaker of the House. Number four was Attorney General, because of course he is. Or at least he's like head military. He's like head of the military.
Dang.
And then number five is locked up in a prison cell.
She was locked up in a prison cell? I don't remember that.
And then everyone was trying to push number one to sign the Bill of No Rights for Kids.
And then they wanted to tear down his treehouse, and then the kids next door that were in his treehouse.
And then his son ambushes him.
No, his son, I think he breaks into the treehouse.
He does break into the treehouse.
He tries to get the kids next door of that time on his side, or he tries to get to his friends, but he finds his kids there and his kids' friends, and then they don't believe that he's who he is until he shaves his head and says, because apparently the future number one is obsessed with his hair, and then he's like, I don't care.
Well, because
the past one doesn't care about it.
Well, because present number one doesn't have any hair, and it's impossible for him to grow any hair because of the delightful children.
I don't remember if they ever explicitly said what they did to them, but you do know.
it was never explicitly said what the Delightful Children did to number one, but it was explained that it is their fault that he is permanently bald.
Yeah, he explained that. Man, I really don't remember as much of the show as I thought. Also, didn't he explain that in an episode where there was like the Fountain of Youth or something?
Yeah.
That episode was weird.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, girl with a wisp who never wanted to leave school because she could always stay young forever and because the fountain was in the school. And then she was gonna freaking youth the kids to death.
Yeah, because she didn't trust them with the Fountain of Youth for some reason.
Well, I think she was just a obsessed kind of asshole. And then at the end of the episode, she found another fountain.
I think the reason she was trying to get rid of them is because she was afraid they were going to spill the secret of the Fountain of Youth, and then they would get the fountain closed off somehow.
Or it'd be just hogged or dried up or something, probably.
Something like that.
And then at the end, I guess the fountain is destroyed or something at the end, but then she finds out that it wasn't.
The Delightful Children destroyed the fountain.
But then she finds out it wasn't destroyed because the episode ends with her finding another fountain, I guess, or
yeah,
she turns back to a kid.
I think it was a backup.
As a backup?
I think she might have known the entire time.
I was curious because I remember she's like walking around miserable, and then she sees like mushrooms growing on a fountain. She's happy, and then she's a kid again. And I was like, oh, okay, so I guess it wasn't destroyed. But I guess it being a backup also makes sense.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was just a backup that she always knew about.
Maybe just all the school's fountains are fountains of youth, which would explain why I feel like I lost years when I drink from my school's fountains.
Oh.
Lukewarm to hot.
Gosh, that reminds me, like, in my elementary school, like, all of the water fountains were so good, except for the one in the art room. The one in the art room always tasted earthy.
Well, I don't know if that's better or worse, but in my elementary school, we had a whole lot of water fountains, but none of them worked. You had to drink from the tap until the teachers told you to stop for non-specific reasons that you'd find out in middle school when the teacher explained that drinking from the tap is really bad long-term for your health.
Oh.
There's like a whole lot of crap in tap water you don't want in your body. Kids at home, don't drink from the tap. Just trust me on it.
Right.
At least that's another thing about Kids Next Door too. It was all a bunch of silliness. Never spread, bad messages. It never said, kids, go out and do stupid stuff. It was like, kids, go out and play with your friends and be in tree houses and fight them evil adults and all that stuff.
Well, fight those evil adults for making you brush your teeth.
I was gonna say, kids don't like to brush their teeth. I understand the mentality from the perspective of the child. It wasn't so much anti-teeth brushing as much as it was pro-candy.
No, it was pretty anti-teeth brushing.
I was gonna say, how come some of the adults weren't bad guys? Like, did they ever explain that? A lot of the parents...
Well, of course that not all adults are bad. Like, of course you have your parents. Of course you have...
Some of the parents were good. Some of them were bad. Like, some of the teachers were bad, some of the teachers were good. There was an episode where Nightbrace, the teeth-brushing villain, first shows up, and they all think the dentist is the villain, but
no, it was the candy store owner.
Yeah, it was the candy store owner, and the dentist guy, he was actually a good guy, and he was like, you're not wrong, he's not wrong, you should brush your teeth, but, jumping people on the street and doing it, that's just, messed up. What's wrong with you, man? And it's like, yeah, this is a guy who's pro-teeth brushing. He's a straight-up dentist, and he's the good guy. And it's like, so it's not the action of doing these things that's bad, it's the people who are bad.
Yeah.
Which is a good message.
Well, also beat up the adults for making you eat vegetables.
But that was the old lady cook, right?
Not direct. That wasn't the episode I was directly referencing, but yes.
Now, that was her thing, right? The old lady chef?
Yeah. The old lady... Well, Grandma Stuffum, that was her name.
Yeah, I think so.
She believed that all children were intrinsically naughty, and the only way to stop them from being naughty was to send them into food comas.
Oh goodness, kids show. Do you remember that episode with the Spanish Inquisition?
Yes,
I'll
I
never.
loved that episode.
I'll forget a lot. I'll never forget that.
I was they had that big musical number where
Yes.
they brought themselves up as the Spinach Inquisition, and then they actually said nobody expects the Spinach Inquisition.
That was my first.
Like they knew what they were doing.
Yep. That was the first time I ever knew about horrible things that happened in France.
France.
That was Spain.
There we go.
Try cut that part out.
It might have happened in France.
Try cut that part out.
I don't know. But I mean, like Spanish Inquisition, Spain.
I messed
Come on,
up.
man.
I messed up. I admit it.
Geography.
Well, it's not geography. It's names. I was
and
thinking
also geography.
I was thinking of the right place. I just got the name wrong.
Oh.
It's not quite.
I mean, they are right next to each other.
It's like calling Italy Florida. You're thinking of like the what is it called? It's got water on three sides and it's,
Peninsula?
Yeah, you're thinking of a peninsula and you're thinking of the thing, but then you accidentally just say the wrong place.
Right. Grandma Stuffin was a little bit messed up.
I don't really remember her all that well. I don't think I saw too many episodes with her.
She was very German.
Oh dear.
Or Dutch or something.
Didn't number 5 fight her with a cat gun?
I'm sorry?
No, wait, it was a teddy bear gun. I'm sorry. Kids next door.
Okay.
Excuse me, kids next door do not condone violence against cats. They do condone teddy bear guns because the teddy bears are not alive.
We don't. That was like number 3's signature weapon, despite the fact that she loves stuffed animals to death.
Well, I mean, I guess it makes sense she'd fight with them. Haven't you ever played a fighting game? You gotta fight with your passion.
I have, but I'm failing to see the connection.
Would you play a Kids Next Door fighting game?
Kids Next Door fighting game?
No. I don't think that exists, but if it did, would you play one?
Yes, absolutely.
That would be pretty amazing. Toilinator would have to be top tier, though.
Apparently there was a video game where the Toilinator is the final boss, and he's super threatening.
Which game was that?
I don't remember.
Was it for Game Boy?
I remember I played through Operation Video Game, and you actually fight him twice there. Technically 3 times if you count the final boss.
I remember there was this old browser game for KND where you could take control of one of the 5 characters and they all played differently, and it was like this side-scrolling platformer where you had to collect a bunch of stuff to open the way to the boss and get different objects to do different things to get to different places. Yeah, I think it was
I don't remember this. I know the Kids Next Door browser game I really liked was Flight of the Hamsters.
No, it was like a platforming kind of puzzle adventure thing. You played as number 1 fought the Toilinator. Sounds like something I'd be
really into, but
number 1 fought the Toilinator and he jumped really high, and you could eventually get the spanker, I think it was what it was called, to use.
Splanker?
Yeah, then you can use that to deflect stuff and break stuff in order to open new paths to find more things that you're trying to get. Number 2 fought against I don't actually remember who number 2 fought. I remember number 4
Grandma Stuffin'?
No, number 5 fought Grandma Stuffin'. That's where I remember.
Oh.
She fought her with the teddy bear gun. And then number 5 fought Night Brace.
Number 5? Wait, from number 5 fighting
Number 4. Sorry, number 4 fought Night Brace.
Okay.
Wait, no. I'm sorry, you're right. Number 3 did fight Granny Stuffin'. Number 5 fought Sticky Beard.
That makes sense. Wait, number 3 fought Grandma Stuffin'.
Yeah, with the teddy bear gun.
Okay.
Number 2, I don't remember who number 2 fought, but I do remember he had this hilarious animation where instead of walking downstairs, he just threw himself down them. That was really
maybe
silly.
number 2 fought. Shoot.
I'm gonna look at. Maybe that might make sense. He was another villain. I do remember they didn't use all the villains because there was a lot of villains. And
Yeah, they had a lot of it.
I don't.
Kids Next Door villains gallery is vast.
Uh,
I remember there was one episode where feminism won.
what? Oh,
I can't remember.
it was Operation Startup. That's what it was. I looked it up on
Operation
YouTube.
Startup. Okay, that sounds familiar to me. I don't think I ever played it.
Ah, wow, God, this game and this game looks way. This game looks about as much as I remember it, but I forgot how cartoony these kids were.
Yeah, every single character has this
Oh
horizontal
my gosh.
oval for a head shape.
No, I remember now. Number 2 fought against that guy who shot mucus. I forgot he even
Oh,
existed.
the Common Cold! He only had one episode.
Really? He only had one episode?
Common Cold only had one episode early on.
Man, this game, I like it. I mean, it looks fun and silly. Here, I'll send you a. It's the first that comes up if you type in KND browser game. It's a full playthrough of it. It seems. There's a whole bunch of other stuff going on here. I don't remember any of this stuff. What the heck?
I'm trying to.
Probably there's a game where the kids are stuck on a roller coaster and you're gonna run them over, unless you don't run them over. That was an actual game. This looks horrifying. What is this nightmare? Fighting adults is one thing, but almost being run over by a roller coaster, that's just not right. Getting shot with snot,
speaking of,
that sucks. Being killed.
That reminds me. In the season 6 finale, so you know how the Toilinator just can't win?
Yeah.
They sent him to a toilet-themed amusement park.
Is it Disneyland?
The entire episode basically takes place in a toilet-themed amusement park, and Toilinator is just having the time of his life.
But is it Disneyland? I'm trying to get us taken down by Disney. That's right, I was the Splinter Cell secret agent who was out to destroy the landfill.
Oh shit!
Now my evil overlords will destroy this whole place.
Okay.
Master Ralphie the Rat, I have done thy bidding.
Okay, this has been Bros in the Landfill. It's signing off.
Are we seriously done? Wait. Oh, okay. I guess this is the last episode ever of Bros in a Landfill. Join us next week. Oh, fudge. All right.